going to finish this before. I hope I'm going to finish this before, let's say, 1 hour 30 minutes, because I,
Okay.
I really have a lot. I really have a lot to talk about. Okay.
Okay.
So, good evening, everybody. Now, today we quickly just want to take a look at the business of the online teaching. The digital tools and what it takes to become an online tutor, because like I do tell people, putting yourself out there is very important if you really know you want to do well on this field. And for online teaching, I've had series of questions, people coming in, they're asking you questions on how to transition into online teaching. Now I need you to just get this notion clear, that online teaching is not a get rich scheme. It's not an avenue, or it's not an opportunity for you to just come in and rake in the money. Yes, you can do a lot of stuff. You can do so many stuff. You can get the money when you do online teaching, but it takes a whole lot of work. It takes a whole lot of work. It takes so many things you have to put into consideration. So you have to put into consideration whether you want to work for someone on that aspect, or you want to become your own boss. So if you want to work for someone, then of course, there are some of the rules, there are some of the do's and don'ts. That's some
Ronnie?
policies. There are some policies that you need to put into consideration. Okay. Then you also need to also take note of the tutoring rates. You need to take note of their working conditions and some other stuffs that are very important. Then, if you want to be your own boss, that's that's another thing you also need to do. You being your own boss. So those are the two ways in which you can get. Those are the two ways in which you can make money as an online tutor. So it's now left for you to now decide whether you want to become your own boss or you want to work for someone. Okay. Now, the easiest way to reach clients, the easiest way to reach clients is by through working for someone. It's very important that you work for them. That's the easiest way actually, because getting clients, it's really not easy like that, because you have to do a lot of work in terms of branding, in terms of advertisements, in terms of referrals, and in terms of putting some structures into place. And it takes a whole lot. So I've had series of questions, people coming in, people asking questions. How do I get clients? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I tell them, if you want to get started, the first thing you need to do, you have to start, you have to work for someone. That's where you have to start from. Then as time goes on, the more experienced you are in the job, then if you now have the go ahead, and if you feel like, okay, it's now time for you to stay on your own, and then of course, fine. But it takes a whole lot too, but on that aspect. So teaching online can sometimes feel overwhelming. Yes, it can feel overwhelming, because there are times where you have the technological issues. There are times whereby you may have challenges. There are times whereby you may have sometimes it could be on the aspects of the students that you are teaching, on the aspect of the kids that you are teaching. It could be on unresponsive kids, or it could also be on the need to juggle lessons plans. Because it's important that you come to class prepared. Online teaching is a global world in the sense that anybody can anybody can be a partaker of your they witness what you are doing. They can join your class. You could be in the parlor teaching. A child could be in the parlor teaching while the mother or father, they are listening. They're listening, and they're hearing what you are teaching. They're hearing what you are saying, and that's why you have
No,
to
you can see it now, right?
that's why you have to
Okay.
that's why you have to put into consideration that the quality of work that you give out, so what you give out, the content of work that you give out is very important. Content of work you give out is very important, because you never so the quality of work you give out is very important. So it could be on the aspect of whereby you come in. If you come in wishy-washy, if you come in unprepared, these parents they know. If you come in unprepared, these parents they know. and and it's really not good for you. It's really not good for your own personality. It's really not good for your own self. When you come to class unprepared. Okay, sometimes it could be in the instance where you've done something and you're just teaching, and then suddenly the parent bumps in, suddenly the parent comes in, and at that moment, and that's what's that's their own that's the judgment that are going to base you on. That's the judgment they are going to base you on. So finding a balance, it's very important. And the consistency also, maintaining consistency is the key. You just have to be consistent. If you are good today, you have to be good tomorrow. You have to be good every day. Not that you go today, there tomorrow. You just have to be consistent. Very, very important that consistency. You need to put consistency as your watchword when in terms of this online tutoring. Okay. So now I'm just going to be sharing some slides with us, and quickly we're going to be looking at some of this we're going to be looking at some of these things, and how we can, you know, how how they shape on the business world, and how some of these things are very important. Because if you don't, let me say, if you do not put them into consideration, they may they may serve as an hindrance to you giving out the best. So my own philosophy has always been that when clients get value for their money, that's what my own philosophy has always been. When clients get value for their money, they would easily tell they're going to tell someone about you. So that's just it. So that's my own philosophy has always that's what my philosophy has always been. When clients get value for their money, you yourself, when you charge high, of course it is something that they can pay, it is something that they can do, it is something that they can pay. So when you charge high, so that's what my philosophy has always been. Okay, so here, in this digital age, you see, it's actually a global word, like I said. And there was a time I was listening to an interview from on Channels TV, about a TikToker named Bella. And the interviewer was asking him how much he makes in a month. And he said he makes 20 million. He said he makes 20 million naira in a month. That's that is to tell you the digital economy. That is to tell you the digital world that we find ourselves in. You know, it's it's the net worth of it is about it's about billions of naira. And you can you just see people are just at the comfort of their home. They're selling. That is the digital world. That is the digital space that you see now. The digital age you see now, it doesn't even require you to get a shop. The digital age that we see now, it requires you can own a thrift shop, or you can do anything. You can sell perfume, you can sell anything. And they are listening. You are making your sales. You don't really need to have you don't really need to have you don't really need to have a shop, or you don't really need to have that's I'm just saying, the digital age that we have now, it depends on the niche. It depends on which area that you want to go into. So whether you want to go into online teaching, or you want to go into sales, or you want to go just to find something, tap into the niche and find something that find something that is okay, and find something that, when you see, of course, the discernment, of course, you have to get a go ahead, and before you jump into something. Okay, so online teaching, digital to the OER, which is the Open Educational Resource, and the platform. So we're going to be looking at some of the prospects also that we have in this online teaching. Okay, and it is just about empowering them educators to thrive in a digital age. We're going to be looking at the essential tools, the strategies, the platforms for online teaching, and these tools are very important. All of these things are very important, if you want to do well in this online space. Okay, so now let's quickly talk about the digital tools. Now, I've always believed that when you invest in your gadgets, investing in your gadgets is very important as an online tutor. You just have to invest in your gadgets. Very important, because these gadgets, they make your work, the ease that it brings in ease, it brings in so many things that you just have to do. So in fact, with the way you'll be surprised with the way these gadgets would work would work. So they're very important. As an online tutor, buying get investing in your gadgets, it's like an investment. That's what I do say. That's what I do tell people. You are investing. It's like an investment. So no amount of money that you spend on it, it's not going to waste. It is yours. When you buy it, it is yours. It is yours. It's for your own good. Okay? And that's why you just have to buy bit by bit. You don't need to break bank at all. I could remember when I started with a laptop. In fact, what led me into online teaching was because of the fact that I took a loan of a laptop, and looking for ways to pay back. And I didn't there was no other means of me to pay back. And I just thought to myself, and I said that, this laptop, why don't I just go into online teaching and see if I can just pay back. So I could remember my first gig that I got, I started paying back little by little. So, and as time went by, I started buying my stuffs little by little. So it is important that you invest in your gadgets. So if you don't, it's an investment. In fact, the the financial the financial the financial network that you would see in this tutoring space, it's encompassing, and it is very broad, and it's very wide. Okay, and that's why you have to put into company's hands your tools, your resources. They are very important, because all of these things, they allow you to deliver quality instruction. They allow you to do well. They allow you to give value. Like I said, when clients get value for their money, then of course, when they get value for their money, I'm telling you, it will be easier for them to or if you work for a brand, when they get value for their money, they give you the praises, they give you the accolades. Okay, they give you the recognition. And if it is you being your own boss, when clients get value for their money, it will be easier for them to refer you. So they can refer you. So it's going to be easier for them to refer you. So that's just it. So for the essential digital tools, so the first one we're going to be looking at, we have the digital graphics pen. If you teach upper primary, very important, you get a digital graphics pen, which is known as a writing pad. Very important. You can just check stores and see the one that works for you. Okay. As an online, whether because all of these things, it make you deliver well. Um, if you teach mathematics, if you're a math tutor, in fact, if you're a math tutor and you come to meet me, that I should help you out in you're looking for, you want to do, or you want to go into online tutoring or this and that, and you're looking for a job this in this online space, and you're a math tutor. If you don't have a digital graphics pen, which is the writing pad, I'm not going to give you an offer as a math tutor. I'm not going to give you an offer as a math tutor, because I would be like, how my first question would be, do you have this? If you don't, then the next question I'm going to be asking you is that, how do you teach your mathematics? How do you teach math? Because I teach math, and I just want to find out the way you've been doing yours, and the way that has been effective. So if it is something that you can share with me. So very important. You don't need to break bank. You don't need to buy a touchscreen laptop. You don't need to buy a stylus pen. You don't need to buy a stylus pen. Somebody was telling me that one of their someone said that if you want to teach this, you have to go and get HP laptop, Elite laptop that has a stylus pen with touch screen and everything. And you don't need to break the bank. Your laptop is okay. Just get a digital just get a writing pad and just plug and use, and you and continue to do your thing, and that's just it. So you're an English tutor, you are a math tutor, as long as you are taking up whether you are taking upper primary or lower primary, or you are preparing kids for exam classes, these two, they are very important. These are the essential digital tools. Very important, very important, very important. Because if you invest in your gadgets, I'm telling you, you will give the best. You will give out you're going to give out value if you invest in your gadget. And like I said, what has helped me so far is that I've been buying my stuff little by little. I've been buying my stuff in a bit. It's just that I devised the means of me saying that at the end of the month, I need to buy something. So I just take a look at my scale of preference. Okay, what do I need for this month? Okay, I buy this. The following month, I buy this. Another month, I buy this. So you get to a point, you get to a stage where you feel that okay, you don't need gadgets now. So the next thing you want to do now is that okay, you want to invest, or you want to reinvest, or you want to channel your funds to something else, or you want to diversify, because diversification as a teacher very important. We all need to learn the skill of diversification. Your streams of income. You don't just you don't need to focus on just one stream on your salary alone. You don't need to focus on, in fact, the country that we are today now, the Nigeria that we are today now, requires you to diversify. The country that we are today now requires you to think outside the box and take a look at what you want to do. If it is buying and selling that you want to do, please start. Sir and ma, start. If it is that you want to do, just ensure that whatever you are doing, just ensure that you are doing the right thing. That's just it. Whether you are starting small or you are starting big, or you are running or you are slow, just ensure that you are doing the right thing. Okay. Then the next one is a high quality webcam. Now, if you teach, like I said, I've made instance of two ways in which you can make money in terms of online tutoring, whether you work for someone or you become your own boss. Now, if you have the idea of, or let's say for instance, maybe tomorrow you want to go into tomorrow you may feel that you want to go international and you want to teach foreign children. Okay, so you want to teach foreign children, and all of these things, they are very important, because as foreign tutoring companies, they don't joke with these gadgets, they don't joke with these tools. Okay, they have to test your camera. They have to test your camera. They're going to test your camera. They're going to test your microphone. They're going to test your internet speed. Okay, they're going to test your internet speed. If they want to see um, how fast your internet speed is. All of those things, they are criteria to the criteria of you being picked. The chances of you being picked when you've met all of these requirements, they are very high. So you're going to be picked. That's just it. So you have to invest in your high quality webcam. If you don't have a web, if you have a webcam, and you have let's say you have a laptop, and your camera's laptop is not that sharp like that, you don't need to change. Just go and buy a webcam. You can buy a webcam. Just buy a webcam, attach it together with it. Then it's going to serve the same function. Okay. Then the next thing you see there is the noise cancelling headset. Very important. In fact, the headset, you just have to. You want to do well, just have it at the back of your mind that you have to get an headset, no matter how that you want to do it, because there are times you may find yourself in an environment where it's noisy. You may find yourself in a place where yeah, you don't it could be something you just children need to hear your voice. The children need to hear you. No, if you prepare your slides, you prepare your lesson notes, you prepare everything, and you do not put all of these essential digital tools into consideration, they are going to they are going to frustrate your effort. They're going to the flop. You're going to get flopped. The chances of you being frustrated, are very high, and that's why you have to tackle this first. You have to tackle the digital tools. You have to tackle this very important graphics pen, quality webcam, noise cancelling headset. Very important, because you have to ensure that children need to hear you for effective communication. Apart from you sharing your screen, apart from you using video conferencing tools or video conferencing apps, they are very important that the children need to hear you. So they need to hear you, they need to hear you. And that's just it. And your tutor manager, or maybe your supervisor, or anyone that comes to your class, they shouldn't be hearing background noise. They shouldn't be hearing background noise. You just have to create a space for yourself. where this one is just meant for you, okay, where you just have your table and you have your chair, and this is where your daily bread comes in. This is where you do your normal side hustle, and this is what you do. So very important that you need to put all of this into consideration in terms of um getting the right digital tool, because these things, they are important. They are important. If you have the right tool to work with, then you will do very well. People will recommend you if you have the right tool to work with. Okay. Now, another aspect that we're going to be looking at is the interactive and whiteboard. Now, for the interactive whiteboard, now I do call them the digital whiteboard. The digital whiteboard, there are lots of whiteboards that you can use. The commonest one is the Microsoft OneNote. There is open board. There are so many whiteboards. You can get whiteboards from MathPad. You can get whiteboard. There are a lot of them that you can use to teach. Okay, there is also a Zoom whiteboard. Okay, but the commonest one in which you see a lot of people use in terms of getting real-time feedback from the kids, which is the Microsoft OneNote. So the interactive whiteboard, children, you have as an online tutor, you need to know at least how to make use of these two, at least two whiteboards. Whether you want to use Microsoft Whiteboard or you want to use two, okay? Because as a math, if you teach maths, or you can't be solving question on you can't be using your phone. If at this age you're an online tutor and you are still making use of your phone, you are still making use of WhatsApp to teach, then you need to go professional. You need to step up. You need to step up because a lot of teachers, they've left you behind. So you need to step up. You just need to step up. You need to step up. If you are still using phone to teach, you need to step up. You don't need to break bank. You can get used laptops for between the range of 120 to 150,000 naira if you are intentional about what you are doing. Okay, so you being intentional, very important in this space, in this game. Okay, so you have to find out. You have to get that skill. You have to be knowledgeable in terms of using interactive whiteboards, because know how you will be sharing your screen, know how where you're going to be teaching. You're going to be using the video conferencing apps, and when you use your video conferencing apps, the next thing you want to do, you want to share screen. You would always be saying, can you see my screen? You want to share screen. You want to use the interactive whiteboards. So very important, these interactive whiteboards. Okay, so these are the whiteboards, that make you, maybe as an English teacher, or as a math teacher, or as a science teacher, or whichever subject that you teach, interactive whiteboard is very, these are these necessary skills that that should know how to use. You just have to equip yourself with the right technology so as to create an immersive and productive online learning environment. Okay, so the whiteboards, the Microsoft OneNote or which other interactive whiteboard that you want to use, and they are essential digital tools. These are essential digital tools that you must use. Okay, so having said all of this, on your tools, I've stressed a lot in terms of your tools, and the reason why I'm stressing a lot in terms of your tool is because of the fact that I know what these tools can do for you. It's like, if you, yeah, let's say, if as a seamstress or as a tailor who wants to who wants to do who wants to go into cloth making, you have to get your scissors. You have to get the required tool that you want to use to work with. Just like how every other vocation, just like how every other job that requires you using or that requires people using to deliver well, or to be efficient and to be effective in what they are doing. It's likewise, as an online tutor, your tool, it's something that you have to invest. You have to invest in. So, like I said, online teaching is just, it's not like a um you want to make money. Like, if you have the notion of, I want to quickly come and make money, then I go, you're going to be disappointed, because it requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of work, honestly. And I need to be frank here. It requires a lot of work. You have to put in the work. You definitely have to put in the work. Okay, so another aspect that we're going to be taking a look at now here on the open educational resource. Now, when we talk about the open educational resource, the open educational resource has to do with the resources or the tools that you use to, let's say, to disseminate information. Okay, now, as an online tutor, you just have to find a balance in terms of course, there are some platforms that there are some tools that are paid, there are some that are free. Okay, you can pin interest, you can check Twinkle, you can check Google, you can check search for so many worksheets on maybe on different topics that you want to use. Okay, and that's why you see that these resources they are very important. Okay, so on the aspect of the cost effective, you just have to maybe you want to go it depends on how you go about it, but if you want to go in terms of getting the textbooks or in terms of videos or in terms of assessment, it's important that you give assessment when a class is taught, when a topic is taught, when a class is taught, when a child is taught a particular topic. It's important that an assessment is given. Assessment needs to be given. The children need to be tested on what they've done. They need to be tested. That's how you ascertain the level of assimilation. That's how you find out kids if kids are catching up, or if kids are getting along with what you do. So you have to reduce so some of these platforms are paid, and while some of these platforms are free. Okay, some of these platforms are paid while some of these platforms are free. So in textbook, you find out which one. In videos, you find out which one. In assessment, you also find out which one that you want to go for. Okay, like I said, you can use Twinkle, you can check Google. Google can be your friend. You can check Google. Google can be your friend. Just search it up. Search it up what you intend to do. Search it up, and I tell you. So, textbook, one aspect, videos, another aspect, then the assessment, another aspect. So, all of these things, the cost effective. So, you are looking at the cost effective whereby you reducing expenses. Okay, because as time goes on, you're an online store, you're just coming in, you're just transitioning into this business, you're just transitioning into this space, and everything you have to just take it one step at a time. You're taking it one step at a time. Okay, so what do you want to do? Okay, do you want to at first paying interest or worksheets from Google can be your friend. As time goes on, the more you gets more offers from a brand, or the more brands that you work with, then it is now time for you to now invest in some of these things. So if it is paid platforms that you want to use, that you want to get your videos from, it is paid platforms that you want to use, that you want to get your resources that you want to use to teach, then of course it is something you now want to take a look at and jump on. Okay, then another aspect that we will also take a look at in terms of resources, it's the adaptable content. Now, what content are you using? What content do you want to use in disseminating information? You have to find out, you have to be experienced, you have to find out the curriculum. You have to find out the curriculum. You have to be experienced in terms of curriculum that you want to use. So if a child is in UK, you have to know that, okay, which curriculum do I want to use for UK children? Which curriculum do I want to use for people in the Scotland? Which curriculum do I want to use for people in the US? For kids in the US, which curriculum do I want to use? So you should be able to you should be able to differentiate between these two curriculums. You should be able to differentiate, in terms of getting the right curriculum that you want to use, because your content needs to be rich. Like I said, your content needs to be rich. It needs to be rich. It needs to be rich. When you share out your slides, and parents take a look at what you've taught, they look at, oh, this one knows these onions, that one knows our onions, this one knows what he or she is doing. Okay, so let it just be adaptable. You have to customize your resources to fit the curriculum and the teaching style of the learners that you are teaching. Sometimes you may not use, you may deviate from the use of curriculum. You may deviate from the use of curriculum. And let me give you an instance as regards what I just said in you deviating away from the curriculum. Sometimes a client, or a, let me say, a parent, and walk up to you, maybe in terms of making an inquiry, and they might ask, tell you, okay, excuse me, so, my child is in year two, lives in the UK, but the year two work, we want him to be ahead. Very important that you ask for program type. Very important that you ask for goal. Excuse me, ma, what is the goal of this child? What are we looking at? What is the goal of this child? What's, very important, because when you ask for some of these things, it makes you become professional. It makes you know what and what learning style, what teaching styles, what curriculum that you want to use for that particular child, for that kid that you want to take up. So, and when you've done that, very important that your first class should be an assessment and in form of gamification. You shouldn't do extensive teaching. It should be a class where you want to get to know the child. It should be a class where you want to, like, get to meet the child. What's This is Mr. Mr. This is this, my interests are this, that. It is an opportunity for you to set ground rules when you teach a one-on-one class. When you teach a one-on-one class, I'm not talking about group class, I'm talking about one-on-one class. It's an opportunity for you to get to meet the children. It's an opportunity for you to know their school. What's the name of your school? What class do you attend? This, that. What is your best subject? Do you have a friend? It's an opportunity. It's like, it should be like a rapport through which the two of you, you know, the communication has to flow. So that is what you should use your first class for. Like, it gets to me, then you conduct an assessment. Very important that you conduct assessment, because if you don't conduct assessment, how, you don't just want to be teaching abstract. You want to know, okay, which this child that I'm being assigned to, or this child that I have, this client that wants me to teach, you know what are the areas, what are the strengths, what are the child's strength, what are the child's weakness. You want to do all of these things. Maybe you want to test in terms of the basic operations, or maybe you want to give questions in terms of math, in terms of let's say addition, in terms of subtraction, in terms of multiplication, and in terms of division. Then you want to test reading, you want to test spelling. Well, all of these things, they are basic things that you should carry out when the child is being assigned to you. Because when you do that, it's, it makes you know which area that you want to come in. And that's why you say that sometimes, if you have a child who you've just tested and you feel that the child does not know how to read, of course, and the child is in year two, you may abandon UK curriculum for year two. And the next thing you want to tackle for the next, let's say, for the next 6 or 7 weeks, is everything about reading. That means that you've identified the problem. And I tell you, when you identify a problem in a child, and it is being tackled, I'm telling you, parents will give you the credit for it. Brands will give you the credit for it. They are going to praise you. They're going to praise you. They're going to give you credit for it. They are going to, oh, Mr. So, this has done a fantastic work, this and that, because you've identified the problem, and the next thing you want to do is to tackle it. So that's just it. So it's to do what? Is to tackle it. So you want to look at the adaptable content that you want to use. Maybe you want to customize it to fit the curriculum, to fit the learning style of the children. You're going to modify lessons. You're going to update them. You're going to add. You're going to join here, join there, pick from here, pick from here, pick from there, pick, and everything. It becomes, let it be a content that is rich in terms of the open educational resources, which is the OER. Okay, so you have to leverage on it very well, because when you leverage on it, it makes your work, it makes you give out quality, it makes you give out quality content. These parents, they know it makes you give out quality content. Even when you charge, it's something that they can do. It's something that they can, when you build them, it's something that they can pay, because they know that they are getting value for their what? For their money. I don't know if you are hearing me. Please just give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me loud and clear, just give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me loud and clear, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, very good. So I've talked about the OER, which is the Open Educational Resources. Okay, so the OER, so we've taken a look at the cost effective, we've taken a look at the adaptable content, we've taken a look at the variety and the choice. Okay, sometimes the variety and the choice may not work for a child. The curriculum may not work for a child because you've identified a particular problem, you've identified one problem or the other that you quickly want to tackle. So it may not work at all. It may not work at all. Okay, so that is that in terms of the open educational resources. There are lots of them. You can check White Rose, you can check Twinkle, you can check MCGP Plus, you can check. There are lots of them. There are lots of them. 21st learning, 21st learning. There are so many. Third learning space rather. Third learning space. There's a lot of websites, a lot of them that you can check out. And all of these things, you are picking from here, picking from there, pick, and it makes your content, it makes it to be rich. And in the long run, it leads to this what we are talking about, which is the open educational resources, which is the OER. Okay, so another one, and now to the aspect that we want to take a look at here, a lot of people are familiar with this popular online teaching platforms. Popular online teaching platforms that you can. What are those tools that you want to use to disseminate information? What are those tools that you want to use to your video conferencing? All of these things they make up your video conferencing tool that you want that we've been talking about. You should be able to know how to use Zoom. In fact, as an online tutor, please learn how to use the two, Zoom or Google Meet, because those two video conferencing platforms are the commonest ones in which you see people making use of. Zoom. You want to make use of Zoom, please ensure that you know how to generate link. Ensure that you know how to make use of the remote control. Ensure that you know how to use the Zoom very well. When the children are making noise, you know how to can mute them, you know how to can disable chat, you just have to be on top of your game. Okay. So these are video conferencing platforms for live sessions and meetings that you can use them for, which is the Zoom. It's just that the Zoom, if you want to enjoy the Zoom, you have to you have to do a paid you just have to if you want to enjoy the Zoom platform very well, you just have to do a paid one. You have to do a paid one. Okay. So that's it as regards the Zoom. Then the Google Classroom, you can also use Google Classroom. It's like a space, it's like a classroom that you can use to communicate. It's like a classroom that you can use to grade. It's like a classroom that you can give assessment. All you just need to do, just share your link. When you share link, then of course the kids will be able to see. The kids will be able to see, it's an opportunity where you want to disseminate information. That is the Google Classroom. An opportunity where you have you want to communicate with the children, or you want the children to also communicate with you, then it's a platform that you can go to, that you can use. Okay. Then you also have the Google Meet. The Google Meet is there. Google Meet is there. In fact, most teachers they started from this Google Meet. I also started from this Google Meet. I started as time went by, I felt the need of let me go to Zoom because there's a way Zoom is more to me. Let me use my to me. I feel Zoom is very Zoom is good. Or let me say, if you want to use Zoom, if you want to teach to disseminate information, you know, Zoom is better. In fact, it's one of the best. It's one of the best and video conferencing platforms that you can use. So a lot of people started from using Google Meet 1 hour for free. In fact, you can even do 2 hours if you have one-on-one class. But the moment another person joins you, then you are restricted to just 1 hour alone. Okay, so you can can have your classes for as long as 2 3 hours for a one-on-one class. So a lot of people started from using Google Meet. Then later on, we felt the need, okay, Zoom, how do we do engagement? We felt that Zoom does more engagement. Most importantly, if you're teaching primary kids, or if you are an early years tutor, if you teach nursery children, Zoom should be one of the platforms that you should be using, because with that you can annotate on the screen. The kids can annotate on the screen. You want to do matching, you want to do color, you want to do blending, you want to do this. The children can be able to see what you are doing, and they can write. They can write on the screen. They can annotate. So Google Meet is there. It's like another video conferencing platforms that you can use to do what to disseminate information. Then the next thing we also have here is the Microsoft Teams. Now, a lot of people don't really make use of this Microsoft Teams. Okay, but it's not really that common, except maybe when a parent demands that you use Microsoft Teams. Okay, so except when it is when a parent demands that you make use of Microsoft Teams. Okay, now some of these online teaching and platforms in which you also see there, we have some brands that you can also work for. There are a lot of brands that you can work for in Nigeria here. So let me just quickly share my screen so that we can take a look at some of these brands that you can work for as an online tutor. Okay, and these brands, you just have to take a look at their policies. You just have to take a look at, take a look at some of the things that guide the operation. Okay, because it's important that you abide. It's important that you abide to their rules. It's important that you abide to to the ways in which they operate. Okay, so when you now feel that you know how to use when you feel that you know how to use these tools, then the next thing you want to do is to do what is to now begin to pitch. Okay, I want to pitch. I want to put myself out there as an online tutor. I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, so in terms of putting yourself out there as an online tutor, of course, one of the easiest ways that you can reach out to clients, one of the easiest ways that you can do branding, it's you working for platforms, you working for reputable brands. And these are some of these brands. There are lots of brands that you can work for. And I tell you, these brands are very good and they are okay. I've worked with majority of them. So they're brands that are okay, they're brands that are good. And you just have to just pitch yourself, package yourself, apply, get their links, apply, and put yourself out there as an online tutor and give it a shot. You never can tell. An interview will be scheduled, and when an interview is scheduled, just bring in your best, bring in your A game. When you bring in your A game, and you can convince, when you bring in your A game, and you can convince the interviewers, and of course, the chances of you being selected, they're high. So the chances of you being selected are high. So these are there are a lot of there are so many. In fact, there are so many, so many, so many, so many. I just restricted it to the big brands that we see of today. So all of these ones, okay, there are a lot. In fact, there are some hidden brands that you don't know, and when you hear their rates, when you hear how much they pay, and you're like, so this is how much they pay here, this and that. So just do your own homework, do your own research, okay? Because like I told you, like I've said before, one of the ways to brand yourself as an online tutor is to work for brands, okay? It's to work for tutoring companies, and from there, well, you're getting the credit, when you're getting noticed, like I said, clients need to get value for their money. When clients get value for their money, in the long run, you're getting the recognition from brands, you're getting the recognition, and it's in the long run, it is building you up. It is building you up. So just start from somewhere. So it is not quite easy like that. It's like a process. Let me just use the word a process. Process in the sense that you are building little by little. It's like a stage you are involving little by little. You are going in little by little. And before you know it, when you are consistent in what you are doing, when you're consistent, this our job, this our digital space. It is about you being consistent. I've said it before. You can't be good today and you are bad tomorrow. If you are good today, maintain it. Let it be good. Do you know why? Because one simple mistake can destroy all the good that you've done. That was why I said that if you are good today, you have to be good. If you are good for one, let me just say for one day, and if you are bad for one day, oh my God, you see the good, the credits that you've been getting, the good work that you've been doing. You see that one, let me say one flop, yes, one mistake, that one flop, and can destroy all of the good works that you've done. So that is why you have to be careful. That is why you have to be careful. That's why you have to be careful of the quality of contents that you dish out. That's why you have to be quality. That's why you have to be careful of the quality of work that you give those children. These parents, they know, they know, they know. They do their own rating. They know. And that's why you see when they don't like what you dish out, they just find something. They'll find something to tell you. We are traveling. We are this and that. We'll let you know. To in 1 month, 2 months, they're not going to get back to you. So you just have to do your homework very well in terms of the contents, in terms of the quality of work that you give out to these children, because they know, they see them, they see. Sometimes they are in the class and you are not aware. They know. So you just have to be careful. You just have to be careful with you just have to come to class prepared. The way you teach in the classroom is different from the way you teach how you teach in the classroom is different from the way you teach online. They are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. I've been in the classroom for more than 10 years now, and I've always been teaching a particular class. If another set comes in, I will still be in that class. They don't take me away from that class. If another set comes in, another session, I've always been there. So at a point, I don't even write lesson note any longer. I will just go and pick the one that I've been using. I'll just pick copy. So at a point, I will just come to class and just teach. What do we have? Want to do simple interest. It's something that I've been teaching. It's something that I've been teaching for years. I'll just come to class and teach. So, okay, I know that this is what you need to do. This is the question. This is the question that we need to. This is how you want to solve it. I can do that in a normal physical classroom. But you teach online, it is different entirely. All your materials, all your slide, it has to be opened. It has to be open on your tax bar. Everything has to be there. You have to come prepared. You have to come loaded. So that when you dish out your work, when you disseminate, and when parents hear what you do, when parents hear you, when they hear you speak, or when they, sometimes they ask their children, how was the class? How was this? They ask their children, and when the children are satisfied, when they like you, when these children like you, there's a bond in which you have to build with these children. When they like you, when they like the quality of work when they like the quality of work you give them, even if when you make mistake, they will just look at it and say, okay, because let's just overlook it. They're going to overlook it for you. So ensure that the quality of work that you give in, it's very important, because all of these things, they build up your own niche. They build up you being the best version that you can become as an online tutor. So all of this are some of the platforms. There are lots of them. There are a lot. Just make findings, make research, and you will see some of these. There's some tutoring companies that are even coming up now, and they are doing fine. Just make research, make findings as to some of these companies that you can work for. And I tell you, ensure that you have, you ensure that you do your own extensive research in terms of jumping on offers. Find out their rates, find out their policies, find out their do's and don'ts, find out so many things that you so many things about them. So let me just put it in that aspect. So in another aspect that we also want to take a look at on how you can make money. So like I've said, I've been talking about tools, I've been talking about some of these platforms, and I've been talking about the OER, which is the open educational resource that you can use to disseminate information. There are a lot of them that you can just do your research very well and then make extensive research about some of these things. And you see, you can start with free stuff at first. As time goes on, then the more tutoring brands that you can work for, then just don't just stay in one place. Yes, let me just use that word. Don't just stay in one place. When I started in fact, I've worked with 5 brands before at the same time. I've worked with 6 brands before at the same time. You know, the streams of income as I was getting from um brand A, I was getting from brand B, I was getting from brand C, I was getting from brand D, I was getting from brand E, I was getting from brand F. And I tell you, they always you know when you are sure of what you do, they will always come to your doorstep. They will always give you offer. Oh, please come and do this something for me. Are you available? At a point in time, you will just be like you are booked. You are fully booked. It's not because they like you. No, not because they like you, but because of the fact that they know that when a child is assigned to you, they are at rest. They're at rest. And you know, it's not good for the brand when parents begin to complain about a particular teacher. When they begin to complain about a particular teacher, it's not even good for you. It's not good for the brand. It's not good for you, for your own personality, for your own niche. So it's not good. So all of these things, you have to put them into consideration. All of these things, you have to tackle them. You have to tackle them. If you are having challenge in terms of network, change it. Go and buy. If it is MiFi, if you are having issues with your MiFi, change it. Buy a 4G router. Buy a 4G router. Change it. Buy a 4G router. If you feel that the children are not hearing you, they are not hearing you. Sometimes when you teach, when you don't use your headset and you teach, it makes it difficult for the children to hear you. And that's why you begin to you shout at the top of your voice. Can you hear me? The children will say, I can't hear you. Ah, you can't hear me, Ke. This is the loudest I've gone. Oh. And it now looks as if you are now shouting. The scope of work is this, blah, blah, blah. It looks as if you are shouting because of the fact that you don't have, the children cannot hear you. So if you've discovered that, tackle that challenge, tackle that problem. What do you need to do? Get headset, get a nice headset. Ensure that the headset that you're going to buy, let it be the one of a noise cancellation headset. I always specify. I don't know why I'm always hitting on um noise cancellation headset because sometimes you may find yourself in an environment, you may find yourself outside and you just want to quickly do your stuff, your teaching. Sometimes it could be meetings, you're in school, you've gone with your laptop, you've gone with your material, and you feel that okay, by 6 o'clock you should be back at home, and suddenly one meeting will just come up and say, oh, teachers, please don't go home yet, we have an important meeting. And sometimes when they now begin to start their meeting, they don't finish till to 6, or they don't finish till, and you have, let's say, 5 minutes for you to start your class. And what do you now want to do? You know that within the space of your home and your work, you can't get home for 5 minutes. It's not convenient for you to get home. So you have to do your class somewhere. And if you don't have headsets, I'm telling you, the children will not be, they'll find out. So just find something, all of these things. These are things that you have to put into place. These are things that you have to put into consideration if you want to give value, if you want to do well. Because when you do all of these things, I tell you, you will always be the first person they will always walk up to. Are you available for this? Can you do this for me? Can you do this tax for me? I have a client, see this and this, blah, blah, blah. I need you to jump on this for me. Can we do this together? Can we? It's because of the fact that you've invested. You are investing on your gadgets. So take it little by little. You don't need to break bank. Buy step one thing at a time. One thing at a time. If you're having challenge with network, tackle it. I tell you, I've worked with a brand before that network, they can withdraw, they can withdraw a child from you if parents are complaining about you in terms of network. They just tell you to go, and they can. So ensure that you tackle all of those things. They are very important. So if it is if the children are not hearing what you are saying very well, get headset. If it is your network, buy. If you feel that you have a laptop and you are challenged in terms of light, or you don't know what to do, get a power bank. Get a power bank. Get a power bank. There are affordable power banks that you can get. Because I tell you, by the time you begin to have engagements, hey, by the time you begin to have engagements, then you will now begin to put into consideration how you're going to charge your devices, how you're going to charge this, how you're going to. So it's a good thing when your hands are full. It's a good thing when you are fully booked. Okay, so you now begin to put that into consideration so that it makes you effective. Because if you're not going to be effective and you are getting them, you are collecting it as they're bringing it to you, you are collecting it. Huh. You know, I've said it. Your good, one bad can spoil all the good things that you've done. So all of these things, you have to you have to put them into consideration. You have to put them into, then you now say, okay, then they now know you that, okay, this is this. Oh, this person knows what he or she is doing. Oh, this person is trusted. This person is reliable. Okay, then you now build more on whether you want to become your own boss or whether you want to work for someone. So those are the two ways in which you can quickly make money. You want to work for someone or you want to become your own boss. So if you want to work for someone, there are some things you have to put into consideration. There are some things you have to take note of. If you want to work for someone, if you want to become your own boss, there are some things that you have to talk about. So I'll just quickly talk about this too. Then I'll go back to my other slide. Okay, so when you work for someone, deliver quality instruction. Very important. Deliver quality instruction. Be let me say, be high on delivering quality instruction. Don't give out substandard work. Let it do your best. Do your best. Do your best. I'm telling you, you're going to reap the reward. Do your best. Keep doing your best. Doing your best. Sometimes you may feel that the fee that they are paying, or you feel, start from somewhere. I could remember when I started online teaching, I started from 2000 naira. From 2000 naira, 25. From 25, 3000. So start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. I've done a job of 20,000 naira for 12 contacts in a month before. I've done a job of 20,000 naira for 12 contacts in a month before. Start from somewhere. Just start from somewhere. Ensure that whatever you are doing, let just let it be that you are doing the right thing. Start from somewhere. If it is start just from somewhere. You are building yourself up. You're building yourself up. In that process, you get to that stage whereby 10,000 naira, when someone just tells you, just how much do you want to pay me? No, I can't do it. I can't do. Yes, you can stand boldly and say you can't do it because they know that you passed that level. Because you've done your homework very well. They now see what you do, and you can now say, oh, this is what I want. If you can't pay me this, please don't give. I can't do it. You can give someone else. I can't do it. So sometimes parents insist that, okay, you are the one they want this and that. Give them your rate. If they can't do it, they can give someone else. They can go to other brands. Okay, so it's because of the fact, even when you want to increase, they know that, okay, this person, they've gotten value for their money, so it becomes easier for them to pay. So it becomes easier for them to pay. But if you are dishing substandard work, you are giving low quality work, I tell you, they will keep complaining. And when they keep complaining, I tell you, it is not good for the brand. It's not good for you. Okay, have a good background, devoid of noise. Yeah. So there's so many things. Have good background, learn. about the do's and don'ts, the rules and regulations, payments, tutoring rates, find out their policies, find out their structures, find out how they operate, find out their rules and regulations. Find it out so that you don't begin to have issues. Find it out. Find out what they do. Find out because some of these brands they have their own policies, they have their own philosophy, they have their own rules and regulations that guide their operation. So find it out. Okay, show up for classes and be consistent. Show up for classes and be consistent. Okay, so sorry, show up for classes and you just have to be consistent. So show up for classes and be consistent. Okay, then you just have to maintain professionalism always. When I say show up for classes in the sense that over there, if a train moves by 5 o'clock and you get there by 5:03, you are late. If you get there by 5:05, you are late. I have a boy right now that I teach. If I come in 2 minutes, if I come in 3 minutes, the first thing I will hear is, Mr. George, you are late. And I'll be like, Baba, take it easy now, 2 minutes. Yes, he's right. I'm late. If I step in 3 minutes, Mr. George, you are late. Ah, sorry, my brother, don't be annoyed. I just finished a class now, and I just quickly, I quickly rounded up, and I had to jump into this class. So it's telling the truth. I'm late. So you just have to show up. Just show up, show up, show up, show up, show up. Because by the time you begin to cancel classes, by the time you begin to you reschedule classes, it is not good for you. There's a level of let me say, there is a level of relationship that you can build with your parents, that you can build with the parents that are assigned to you. And when you reschedule class, they feel that okay, it's okay and fine. But when you now begin to reschedule class all the time, 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 they just see you as someone. It shows an act of inconsistency. Okay, so show up for classes, maintain professionalism always, always carry parents and tutoring company along. The brands that you work for, carry them along. If you have any idea, you have any case, they're welcome to initiatives, they're welcome to innovations, good idea. Carry them along. Let them know, oh, can I talk to you? Okay, I feel this, and we can do this. Carry them along. Be loyal, be a person of integrity, don't cut corners, you know, when a child is assigned to you, it's not an avenue for you. We know that Nigeria is not smiling. It's not an avenue for you to now begin to beg money. Please. It's not an avenue for you to beg money. It's beg money from parents. It doesn't really show you as someone who is professional. It doesn't really show you as someone who is professional. So please, please, all of this, submit reports when you are asked to do that. Submit reports, very important. Then, if you now want to take a look at being your own boss, what are those things in which you have to do? What are those things in which you have to put into consideration if you want to become your own boss? Okay, now you have to do a lot of work in terms of being your own boss. The brands that you work for, it's their headache. Any policy, any idea in which they bring, if it is not working for them, it's their headache. Your own is ogata, ogauta, owalaru akpe. You get your own paid and leave at the end of the month. That's just it. So now the headache, the onus now lies on you. Any innovation, any idea, any policy, anything that you are bringing in, if you don't, you have to put it into consideration. You have to think about it very, very. In fact, think about it 2 times. Think about it 3 times. Think and ponder. Think about it very, very, very well. So that because you own the platform, you own the platform, you are the boss, okay, and it requires you to put in the work. I've always believed that my own mantra has always been that if I don't eat, if I don't work, I don't eat, and that's what drives me. You know, sometimes people ask me, what's well, where do I get my passion from? Where do I get my level of consistency over the years, over the month? You see, Mr. George is consistent, this and that. What drives my passion? Nothing drives my passion than if I don't do it, I'm not go chop. If I don't work, I'm not going to eat. That has always been my mantra. If I don't do it, ah, omo, I go suffer. That is just it. And and when I remember that I have so many, I have people that are depending on me. When I remember I have some things that I need to take care of. When I remember this and that, you put in the work. You do the work. Because if I don't, it's like sitting down and folding your arms and you doing nothing. So you're not going to. How do you expect to reap the fruit of your labor when you're not putting in the work? So you have to put in the work. You have to. If you don't hustle, you won't eat. So that's just it. Then find a niche. Now, in finding your niche as a as an online tutor, in finding your niche, if you want to go into, let's say, you want to become a business owner, or you want to become an entrepreneur, or okay, so you have to just find your niche. Now, if it is what do you want to go into, do you want to become someone your expert, your field? Oh, this field, I know this is what I know how to do best. If it's early years that you want to go into, oh, you want your brand to be just early years. That's the only thing you do. I only take early years children. I don't take primary children. I don't take secondary children. That is your niche. If it is secondary children that you want to do, that is your niche. If it is primary children that you want to do, that is your niche. In secondary also, secondary is of two levels. A levels, you want to do A level children. I don't take A level children because I don't have any. So when I get clients coming, I know someone that I pass it on to. And I know that okay, this person na master for this field. So you just have to take a look at your need, find it. My main where I'm heading to is that just find something that works for you. Be an expert in your field. Be an expert in your field. Be an expert in your field. Now, you have to be conversant. You have to be conversant with this game. You have to be conversant with numerous curriculum. Now, I've had a time where the parents came for inquiry, and she just told me, oh, I got your contacts from a friend, this and that, blah blah blah. I have a child who is in, I have a child who is in P3. I have a child who is in P3, and I want to enroll the child for tutoring services. What are the rates? What are those things in which you do? I tell you, the parent didn't tell me that they are from Scotland. Of course, I know that you have to just be careful. You just have to be grounded. When you hear P3, you know that okay, these people they are from Scotland. So when you are bringing in, if you are now chipping in UK, they just feel that okay, this person, oh, see, does not know what he or she is saying. You have to be grounded in the curriculum. You have to be grounded. You have to be grounded in their, in the styles in which this country is used to teach. You have to get familiarized with their curriculum. You want to check, see, and the beautiful thing of all of this is that all of these information, all of these resources, they are within your disposal. Just Google it. You will see them there. Google it. You will see them there. You're going to see them there. So you just have to be grounded. You have to be grounded because sometimes when they come for inquiries, you want to have something to say so that they don't you do you don't lose guard. Okay, you don't lose guard. Let me just use it in that sense. You don't lose guard. Okay, now get a mentor. Get someone that you can easily reach out. Get someone that you can rub minds with. Take a look at people who have gone far. See, you would always have people who have gone ahead of you. You too, you are ahead of somebody. Another person is ahead of you. You'd always have people who are ahead of you. As I am, I still have people that are ahead of me. So get someone. Get mentor, get people that you can reach out to, get people that you can rub minds together with. If it is your colleague or if your people that you both do similar things in which you people do, what are those things that is working for you? What are those things can you just share with me? This and that. Get trusted people. Get people that you can reach out to so that they can share insight, so that they can give you idea. Oh, I have a client. I don't know how much I can charge. I don't know how to do this. I don't tell them this is what you okay, just get someone, get people that are ahead of you so that they can so that you can learn from their experiences. Okay, so that is on that aspect, on you being your own boss. Now, what are those things that you need to set up? All of these things are very important. You have to set up all of these things. A professional social media page as an online tutor, you have to put yourself out there as an online tutor. Very, very important. In fact, what has been helpful to me today is because of the fact that I've I've leveraged on technology. I've leveraged on technology to put myself out there. I've leveraged on technology to let people, to let the world know, okay, this is what I do. Okay, so very important. You have to put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Very important. Make the noise. Make the noise. Make the noise. Someone on your contact needs to know what you do. Someone on your contacts, they need to know what you do. They need to know what people on they need to know. They need to know what you do. This is what you do. Okay, so get a professional social media page. If you are planning to become your own boss, you have to get a professional social media page. Okay, you have to take a look at the algorithm on different platforms. Okay, whether you want to concentrate on maybe Facebook, or you want to concentrate on Instagram, or you want to concentrate on just Instagram alone, or you want to concentrate on LinkedIn and Instagram, or you want to concentrate, just find something that works for you. Take notes. Get a platform that you can afford. Get, if it is a simple website that you want to do, just one pager for as low as 150,000 naira, you can get a one pager. For as low as 200,000 naira, you can get a one pager website. Okay, that is about you becoming the boss of your own, because all of these things, it sells you, it makes you, it sells the work for you. Okay, get teachers. These are the people that will fuel your part. These are the people that will fuel your goals. Okay, so get good hands that you can work with. Then fix a worthy price. Fix a worthy in terms of when we get to that part where we'll get to negotiation. Okay, because a lot of questions come from how do you negotiate? How do you do negotiations? How do you in terms of negotiations, what are those things that you need to put into what are those things that you need to put into place in terms of negotiation? Because these parents, I tell you, if you don't do your negotiations very well, hey, Nigerians now, they are Nigerians in diaspora, they are Nigerians abroad, and they just want to, I'm telling you, they are really going to the streets. You just have to be street smart. Let me put it in that word. So get you have to get the negotiation skills right. Very important. Get the negotiation skill right. So, quickly, another aspect that we'll quickly take a look at this aspect. So let's quickly move on to we've talked about the popular online platforms. Then another thing we can also take a look at. We've taken a look at the open educational research, which is the OER. Then we're also taking a look at the popular teaching online platforms. You've seen the popular teaching online platforms that you can use. Then what are the prospects? What are the prospects for online tutors? What prospects do we have for online tutors? I could remember when I started my my presentation, I said that I watched an interview of a TikToker named Aspella, and the interviewer was asking him how much he makes on TikTok, and he was saying it makes like 20 million. And I took a look at it and said, wow, 20 million, 20 million monthly, that's a whole lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. Just from saying tap, 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 tap. Follow for follow, follow for follow. And and the truth is, The growing demand for online tutors, it's wide. The digital world, the digital space, it's so encompassing, it's so wild that you don't even need an office space. You don't even need you want to go into buying and selling, you want to go into thrift, you want to go into selling of clothes, you want to go into do you know that people advertise their products on social media? People, so many young entrepreneurs, so many entrepreneurs, so many business owners, they've leveraged on social media. They've leveraged on social media to get sales. Yes, let me put it in that sense, to get sales. Okay. So you don't need, I know someone who sells perfume. I know someone who sells perfume, sells beauty products, makeup, perfume, roll-on, anything that has to do with deodorant and so many. Does it within the comfort of her home. That's where her shop is. Did compartments, put in all of his product, put in all of our products, and all what he does is online. Is on all what he does is online marketing. You just see him advertising his our products. About, oh, this is what I do. Come to TikTok, do video, post it on TikTok, post it on social media, post it on Instagram. And he's making sales. He's making sales. So that aspect has eradicated and that's part of getting a shop, or we know the amount in which you can get a shop. You can't get, sometimes it could be 5,000 a month, sometimes it could be 7,000 a month. You know how much you're going to get a shop if you want to get one with the agreement and commission and everything. So the prospect, so how much more the prospect for online tutors? Right from time, right since 2020, when during the period of coronavirus, that's when online tutoring has been. That is when online tutoring has been, and it's still in existence. And it's not going to phase out. People, because a lot of people are, so many people are leaving the country. So many Nigerians are leaving the country, and the growing demands for online tutors majorly from Nigerians in diaspora, because they feel that the way in which they teach over there is not the same as what they do here in Nigeria. I've once had a parent that told me that, oh, they don't even give homework. They don't do anything here. All they just do, they nobody to ask you, nobody to beat you, whether you've done an assignment or this, and that's why they need Nigerian teachers. They know that Nigerian teachers, that's why they need Nigerian teachers to come and handle their kids for them, because they know the kind of regimented life, they know the kind of structure in which the Nigerian system of education has been. It's just that our leaders, Nigeria is a good, it's just our leaders. In fact, well, I just hope one day we're going to get it right in this country. I hope one day we're going to get it right in this country. So the prospect for online tutors, the growing demand, people, so many parents are still demanding for online tutors. They still demand for online tutors. They still demand for online tutors. Before you know it, oh, I have a friend who would like, I don't know if you're available, or I don't know if you can do it. Oh, I can do it. Then you get that one. Another one again comes. I have a client, or I have a parent, I have a friend who can do this. I have a friend this and that. The growing demand for online tutors, it's increasing day by day, because of the rising interest in the personalized and the flexible learning. So somebody can be at they can be at home when they come back from school, and they are learning takes place, and that's the growing demand for it. Okay, so the global reach, also another part again that I also want us to take a look at for the prospect for online tutors, is the global reach. The global reach, you are here in Nigeria, and I started today alone. I've reached 3 states and 3 countries rather today alone. I've taught a child in the UK. I've taught a child in the US. I've taught a child I've taught a child in Scotland. So you can, you are just, you are here, and you are going global. You've taught you've taught people from 3 different countries. So that's the beauty of online tutoring. That's the beauty of online tutoring, and that's what the prospects lies in. So it's like it's an opportunity to connect to students worldwide. It's an opportunity to connect to kids worldwide. You are learning about their resources, you are learning about their curriculum, you are learning about, you are learning about their ways in which they teach. Because sometimes their scheme of work is not the same in which we have it over here in Nigeria. Okay, so that is why you have to look at it, digress, take a look at the curriculum, and see if it is something that you can break down for the children to assimilate. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. You are getting the curriculum and you are digressing the curriculum into bits, into topics, into simpler topics, into simpler components, whereby the children and what the children can learn, the children can understand. Another thing also is the income potential. I'm telling you, it gives you that opportunity for you to set your own rates and to build a sustainable business. That is one of the beauty of prospect that we have for online tutors. You know, the Nigeria of today now, it requires you to diversify. Diversification. I was speaking, I was speaking with somebody yesterday, and we were trying to take a look at how teachers can leverage, how teachers can diversify, because you see that these school owners, these schools, if you look at the rate in which they treat them, the rate in which they treat teachers in terms of remuneration, in terms of payment, in terms of this, it, you can't just rely on salary alone. You can't rely on salary alone. You have to diversify. What do you want to do? Do you want to be selling? Do you want to go into buying and selling? Do you want to do this? You have to diversify. Do you want to go into online tutoring? Do you want to work for people? If you're working for people, ensure that you get at least one or two reputable brands that you are working for, so that your streams of income, it's as you are getting from brand A, you are getting from brand B, you are getting from brand C. You can imagine if you work for 5 tutoring companies and you are reckoning at least 100,000 naira in a month, and you are reckoning at least 50,000 naira in a month. Multiply it 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 times 5. That's 50,000 naira. Together with your salary, it is something. Then you now sit down and say, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to go into buying and selling? Okay, what else do I want to use my money for? Okay, what business do I also want to do apart from this online tutoring that I want to do? Find it out. Take a look at the business. Just diversify. In the long run, your income potential is increasing. In the long run, that diversification is going to help you. And I tell you, when you diversify as a teacher, you can't be broke. I'm speaking from experience. You can't, because of the fact that your streams of income, as you are getting from here, you are getting from this one, you are getting from another. The streams of income, is not just one. It is not only salary alone in the streams of income. If salary is not paid, you are not eating. If salary is not paid, you are not getting anything done. You are not getting any substantial. You are not getting any substantial thing to do for yourself. If salary is not paid, no. Teachers are not poor. Teachers are not poor. Teachers are not poor. Please diversify. Diversify. Find something you want to do. Find something you want to do, whether you want to do buying and selling, whether you want to do this, whether you want to do that, I'm telling you, this salary is not enough. Hmm. This salary is not enough. How much are they even paying, Seth? How much are they paying? How much are they paying? This salary is not enough. But the current situation of this country, if you go with, if 5,000 naira cannot cook a befitting soup for you, 5,000 naira cannot cook a befitting soup. You know how much you buy chicken, you know how much you buy fish, you know how much you buy pepper. They can't cook a befitting soup. They can't. So you just have to diversify. You have to, your streams of income, don't make it on salary alone. As you're getting from here, you're getting from this place, you're getting from there, you're getting from here, you're getting from, just diversify. And in the long run, your income potential is building little by little. You are building your net worth little by little, little by little. So for the prospects for online tutors, the income potential is, you have the time to set your own rate, because know how as time goes on, you're going to start, you also know how as an online tutor, as time goes on, you will have a direct client of your own, no matter how you work for somebody. no matter how, when you are good in what you do, you will see people, you will see direct clients, you will see people who would just say, okay, I have a friend, somebody will just say something about you and say, oh, can you do this for me? Then you, you've now become somebody who is now setting rates. Okay, how much do I want to charge? Excuse me, ma. This amount that you want to pay me, it's 5,000 naira per hour. If you can't pay it, how much do you want? 6,000 naira per hour. This is the amount I take. If you don't do 6,000 naira per hour, I have to pay teachers too. I have to do this. I have to do that. This and that. Blah blah blah. So you now determine your own rate. Okay, and from there, you are building a sustainable and a thriving business. So that's the prospect for online tutors. So don't let anybody to scare you off. Don't let anybody to bubble you that this thing will soon cast. Everybody is now going to online teaching. It will soon cast, just like MMM. So this online tutoring has been in existence since the period of Corona, even before Corona virus came. It has been there. It has been there. It has been there. It has been there. So the flexibility it also gives you, you work from anywhere on your own schedule. You work from anywhere on your own schedule, from the comfort of your home. You are there and you're making your money. From your 9 to 5, you finish your school, you come back from work, you get started, you sit down, you're at home and you are teaching. If it's 2 hours you want to do, if it's 3 hours you want to do, fine. If you're still doing 9 to 5 job, you know that Canadian children, you shouldn't I don't see any reason why you are still doing 9 to 5 and you are doing Canadian children. I don't see any reason why you should do Canadian children because it's really going to affect you. I've been in there before. I'm talking from experience. Canadian classes, children from Canada do not start from at most 12. Although it depends on provinces, but most ones you see some 12, sometimes some 10, some 11. So, and it's not all of them that you want to put on your weekends. It's not all of them you want to put on your weekend. So just find a way around it because it is really going to affect your productivity at work. Because sometimes you don't get to finish your class at 1 o'clock, and by the time you go back, by the time you go to sleep, and you have to wake up the following day, you have to cook, you have to dress for the children, you have to dress for the kid, you have to do this as a man, you have to wake up, you have to do this, and blah 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 blah. Then you are off again. It's really going to affect your productivity. But you can limit your scope to children from the US and you can limit your scope to children from the UK. Okay, since those time zones they're still favorable, those time zones they're still favorable and they're still okay. So the flexibility, you work from anywhere on your own schedule. You determine your rate, you determine your time, and it is something that you want to do. Okay, so the last part here is building your own brand. Now, how do you build your own brand? How do you put yourself out there as an online tutor? How do you stand out? How do you stand out? How do you stand out from competition? Of course, you have competitors already. How do you stand out? How do you stand out? All of these things, they help you in crafting a niche for yourself. We've talked about niche. We've talked about your specialization. Which subject area do you want to specialize? Which teaching style do you want to specialize? Which area do you want to focus on? Are you early years? Do you do primary? Do you want to do primary and secondary? Do you want to do primary, secondary? Do you want to do nursery, early years, primary and secondary? Which niche do you want to do? Do you want to be accepting A-level children? Do you want to be accepting biological children? Do you want to be accepting children? Just find something that works for you. Honestly, it is not all about jumping on clients. It's not all about jumping on, but sometimes it's stressful and it's demanding. So find a niche, specialize in a subject area, and find something that works for you. That's one. Your logo should be your memorable visual identity. Which colors do you want to go for? What do you want to do? What two brand colors do you want? Do you want to use two brand colors? Do you want to use three brand colors? Do you want to use two? The brand colors that you want to use at most two, three is within two, three. Some people use two. So which one do you want to use? How do you want to communicate your unique value? How do you want to be the best brand that for the best brand for a parent. How do you want all of these things should be things that you have to structure all of these things. It's something that you have to sit down and work on. How do you want to craft your message? How do you want to build your brand? How do you want to build your identity? And I tell you, building your identity is very important. Very, very important. And it starts from you putting yourself out there as an online tutor. You need to make the noise. People need to know what you do. People on your contacts need to know what you do. People on your area need to know what you do. Make the noise. They're not going to feed you. You have to make the noise. So all of this, it leads to establishing a strong brand to attract students. It leads to strong brand to do what to attract them students. The next thing you now want to do for the prospects, the next thing you now want to do is to building a thriving business is to now say, okay, how do you market yourself? Social media is one of the best platforms that you can use. One of the best platforms. How do you engage your audience? It's an online tutor. Okay, maybe you're an online tutor and you don't have the idea of you building, of you owning your tutoring brand for now. It's something that you want to do, but it's something that you want to do in a later time, but you just want to understand the nitty-gritty of the business. You just want to take a look at how brands do their own stuff and this and that. You have to put yourself out there. How do you do that? You have to use social media. I tell you, I'm grateful to God and to most importantly, to social media. You know, it's something that I did, it's something that I used to leverage. I leverage more on social media in putting myself out there. So very important. Website, showcase, that's testimonials. Testimonials build credibility. Let me tell you more about these testimonials. The word of mouth alone is very important. See, you may not even need to do much work on branding. You may not even need to do much work on advertisement. But you see the word of mouth. It is easier for somebody to take, for instance, now, if I use a particular product, and I use mouth to spoil it, I tell you, you can't buy it. If you have the idea of you buying that particular product, you're not going to buy it. But if I sweet mouth it for you and say, you see this product, it's something that I'm using it. They are trusted. They are this and that. Word of mouth, it builds more on referrals. Your testimonials, your success stories. What are those success stories? When a child does, you are teaching a particular child and the child is doing well, apart from get the accolade for it, put it out there. You are marketing yourself. You're marketing yourself. You're marketing yourself in the long run. That's just it. I can tell you it is something that is working for me. I once prepared a child for 11 plus exam, and this child got into a grammar school. If you're familiar with 11 plus exams, you know grammar school exams. I tell you, from this parent alone, it just started, who taught your child, this person taught my child. This another, it was this person, I'm telling you, the woman did a lot of work for me. I was just bringing, who did this, who did that, testimonials, word of mouth, referrals. It's because they've seen it. Clients like to see what has worked. To pass 11 plus exam for a UK exam, and he now recommends another parent to me, and I'll say that, so a parent that wants to do something similar, and I say that, I'm not going to charge nothing less than 10,000. The clients will beg me, say, please, then 10,000, and he will still agree on a rate that will be favorable to me. Why? Because testimonials build credibility. The word of mouth alone, and in the long run, your testimonial is leading to referrals. Word of mouth, I'm telling you, word of mouth, huh? and there's power in it. You may not be doing advertisement. You may not even be doing advert. You may not even be spending money on advertisement. Somebody out there is telling, oh, you just I know of someone. I know of someone. This person is very trusted and reliable. Word of mouth, near. That's the word of mouth. This person is this person. Before you know it, when they, when they get enrolled and you do the work, ah, you know that these people, the friendship in with these people, they tell, come on, it's true. That person that you gave me, tested and trusted. Friends, I have a parent like that. If I don't teach the child that particular day, the parents will ask, has he taught your child? So they are related. So the word of mouth alone, it builds so much. It can do wonders for you. And in the long run, all of these things are what we see as marketing yourself online. So the key takeaways before we quickly round up? What are the key takeaways? The key takeaways here we have here is that you have to embrace tech. You have to embrace tech. That is the first thing. Transitioning to online teaching with confidence, it achieves a lasting success. So you have to embrace tech. You have to master the digital tools. Digital tools, number one, leverage on OER, which is so you have to just leverage on the OER. Then another thing you have to build on is you have to build a brand. You have to build a brand for yourself as an online tutor. In the long run, it's really going to help you out in attracting students. Okay, so these are all of these things. So if you now take note of this, then in the long run, you're transitioning to online teaching. It goes smoothly with confidence, and you're going to achieve a lasting success. So feels you that online tutoring is a game changer now. Online tutoring, something that you should it's something that you should try as a tutor to diversify your streams of income, because as a tutor you need to diversify income. Very important, because salary alone cannot do the work for you. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for your time. Thank you very much. Oh, somebody said I've been able to convince you. Thank you so much for that. So, Mr. Lekon Adegun, I don't know if you are with us.
I'm with you. I've been here all along. Um, Thank you so much, George. Thank you for being educative. Thank you so much. This is quite enlightening. Um, we've all learned a lot. Please, let's have questions. Questions. Let's have questions. If you've got questions, please just raise a hand and we will let you ask you questions. Raise a hand. Do we have questions for George? Yes, yes. Okay, so Vera, you could unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Please go ahead. We can.
Thank you. Yeah. First, I would like to thank Mr. George Agbede for the inviting, and I also thank you, Mr. Lekon Adegun. You were the first to open my heart to this tutoring in Ibadan. Thank you so much for bringing this. The question I have for Mr. Agbede is that I'm very much interested in this online tutoring, and that's why I attended this dinner. Is there a way he can connect me to his phone where it will be much easier than starting, with one of those tutorial companies.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you so very much.
how do I get you connected to? How do I get you
You can
connected
reach out to
to?
Mr. You can reach out to Mr. Lekon Adigun.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Good. So I have your permission, right? To
Yes,
connect you
please.
both. Okay, that's good. All right. Any
Yes.
other
Yes.
question? Okay. Mr. Lakune, Mr. Lanikon, please unmute yourself and then ask your question.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Lekon Adigun, for putting this together, and thank you, Mr. George.
You're welcome,
It
sir.
has been an enlightening session. I came a little bit late, but the part that I was opportune to take part of has really been enlightening. Really, really been enlightening. Now, I want to ask. When you were talking earlier, you did something that tickled my fancy about talking about Scotland P3, then UK 11 plus, and so on like that. Now, I want to ask. You said being conversant with all this international curriculum. Is there
Exactly.
like a platform, maybe where all these curriculum are like maybe together, that someone can go, just one platform? Or is it going to just be Google work all
Yes, it
through?
is. It's a Google workout through. It's a Google
Okay,
workout through. It's a Google workout through. Now, for the okay, let me just quickly talk about the 11 plus exam. If you're a primary teacher, and you want to eat money, you want to chop money very well, make sure that you are conversant with 11 plus curriculum and 11 plus scheme. If you're a maths teacher,
okay,
teach MVR. That's where the money is. It's because of the fact that you can't really teachers. You don't see teachers that aspect very well because it's an exam class. It's like
okay,
let me use it like a common entrance exam class that we write here in Nigeria.
okay,
Yes, it's like
okay,
a common entrance. Children from year 6 or children from year 5. I know someone that has done from year 5. I know someone they are just entering from year 5 to year 6 and they are doing it. You know, it's like an entrance exam that kids write, and
okay,
just like when they do entrance exam, they have to pass.
okay,
They have to pass.
okay.
So it's a whole lot of
Okay,
money.
then I have a second question. Sorry. The second question is there was this online uh one of these online outfits that does this IAS teachers for what you've been talking about. I applied for one of them. It
Okay.
wasn't successful.
Mm.
And now, when I was applying, when I was doing what they asked us to do, that I really didn't. I think one of the things that I feel affected me was I really didn't know what they wanted or how they wanted. Though they said, "Oh, we should prepare like a short video of us teaching, just like a micro
Like a demo
teaching
video.
stuff." So now I was wondering all through all the while I was trying to put that together. I didn't really know what their standard was, what they really want. so to say. So I want to ask, is there like maybe like some sort of guideline to help someone to know
No,
like if you
but
want to apply, what
okay,
should you
okay,
do? How do
very good,
you yeah.
very good. So let me quickly talk about that. Now, for your demo video, now
Yes.
most foreign companies, let me say most foreign companies or most tutoring companies, they ask you to go and bring a demo video. That's
Okay.
basically what they ask you to do. It's like uh, it's like a
Mm.
recorded version. Want to do your demo video, you have to get a child, do your demo video. Let it be that you have a child
Mm.
that, even if it's
Mm.
just one, they
Mm.
just want to see your starting point, and they want to see
Okay.
how you've been able to engage the children. And demo video shouldn't be within 3 to 5 minutes. That is
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
So when
Okay.
you are now doing your teaching, of
Mm.
course, this is where it now comes into play. As an online tutor, as a teacher, as a 21st century teacher, you need to know how to use these editing tools, video editing tools, whether you want to use
Mm.
CapCut or you want to use. So that is where you now begin to join those clips together, pick from here, pick from here, pick from here, and you now join, and it becomes like 4 to 5 minutes of summary of what you've done.
Mm.
I
Mm.
don't know if you're getting my
Okay.
point. So
Okay.
when you
Yes.
want to
Yes.
when you want to do your demo video, don't let it be an instance where you are the only person teaching. No,
Yes, I get
get a
that.
child.
Yeah.
Get a child.
Mm.
Let it be
Okay.
like an
Okay.
instance where you are teaching and the child is responding. Although
Okay.
although some tutoring companies don't even ask you for demo video. They just send you the link.
Mm.
They just send
Okay.
you the link. And that's why you see the benefits of you putting yourself out there as an online tutor. Do you know that recruitment these days now is about
Mm.
share me your share me your share me your profile link? That's what
Mm.
recruitment these days is all about now.
Mm.
Just
Mm.
ask you, they just
Mm.
ask you, what's your LinkedIn profile? What's your
All
LinkedIn?
right.
Share me
Mm.
your link. Share me your Instagram link. Share me your LinkedIn link. They want to
Mm.
see that's I'm saying that is it now. That is what is raining now.
Mm. Mm.
So the moment you share me your Instagram link, or the moment you share me your LinkedIn link, I just want to go through. I just want to see. Most importantly, they ask for LinkedIn now. Like, you just want to see.
Mm.
Your LinkedIn, your name, your school, your company, the people that you've worked for, this, blah, 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 and what your post has always been all about.
Mm.
I don't know if you're getting my
Mm.
point. So
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
want to see what
Yeah.
your post is all about. So
Mm.
if you are here and you've been posting what is not of what you are not going to benefit of, please listen. All of these things talk about branding. Please go and delete them
Mm.
off. You don't need. Let it be do something professional.
Mm.
Sir, I'm telling you, that is what they do now. Send me your Instagram. When you apply, you will see a link, Instagram link or LinkedIn link. They will ask you to put they want to see. They just want to see. And that's why
Mm.
it's important. You have to put yourself out there. You just have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself. Not everybody can be posting
Mm.
every day. Not everybody can be posting every day. Not everybody can be visible on social media all the time because
Yes.
of the situation of things. But let's say just show up. Even if it's once in a week you want to be doing it. Even if it's 2 times in a week you want to be doing it. Just ensure that you show up and you put yourself out there. You never
Okay,
can
sir.
tell. You never can tell. Somebody can just look at you and take a look from your profile and say, okay, oh yeah, just bumped in, send you a message, and from there.
Mm.
How Mr. Aleko and I connected was on LinkedIn. So
Mm.
if I didn't put myself out there was no way you could have seen what I do. So
Mm.
so you see where the impact of the social media, where it comes in now as a teacher, as an online tutor, where you have to leverage on the technology, where you have to leverage on social media to build yourself.
Okay. Thank you
So
so
that's
much.
so that's
Yeah.
just it. So when next, please, your demo video, let it be
Yeah.
a child is there. Maybe
Okay.
it could be someone, maybe your cousin, or maybe your niece, or maybe your nephew, or maybe your child or your daughter or whatever. Just tell them what to do. So that's just it.
Okay.
Thank,
Okay.
thank you so
Okay.
much,
Thank
Dad.
you so much.
Thank you so much, Ed. Thank you,
Oh,
Mr. Olalekon, for the question. I think a number of people benefited from it. Let me just add a bit to it, before I call on Boju Adrat. Okay, so,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Olalekon, like you asked, it is
Yes,
actually
sir.
very
I'm here.
true that many of those platforms, online platforms, many of them actually request for demo videos. So
Yeah.
I've also had this complaint, this questions from educators and all of that. You might have to consider a number of things. Okay, so number one, the demo video for many of them is not even so much of what the educator looks like. So this is what I mean. Your demo video, you're doing the demo video in 1 minute, in 2 minutes. The maximum I have seen on request is 3 minutes. That's the maximum I have seen. But
Mm.
must pay attention to the structure. So one of the things that for some of these platforms that I'm very well aware of, one of the things they want to see in your demo video is your pedagogy they want to see those things in just 3 minutes. And this is it. So you have the concept you want to teach. The very
Okay.
first thing to do is you are testing previous knowledge. Give the impression that you're aware that if an educator introduces and goes on with the concept, the educator must make some attempt to check the previous knowledge of the learners.
Mm.
That's number one. Then in 3 minutes, do some sort of starter and knowledge like activities that
yes.
you know, or when we teach, we also utilize activities because activity also reinforces learning. And one of the things
Okay.
activity does to learners is that activity grants them learner agency, learner autonomy. Okay, now I know you might be thinking, how do I take all that in 3 minutes? What they want to see is not you spelling that out. They just want to have a body because what that does to them is you come across as a teacher who understands that teaching is a science.
Mm.
Okay, and that teaching is in stages. You know, we are stacking up the different of the process. So
Yes,
let
sir.
me, and because it's a demo video, okay. So for some of them ask you to upload a demo video. Some other people, for example, native camp. Native camp is more for language teachers. Native camp will not
Mm.
even request you to upload a demo video. Native camp tell you to activate your own webcam.
Mm.
So they will be behind the camera. They will not activate their own webcam, so you won't even see them. Okay, but they will be able to activate your own webcam. And what they do is aware that what they are doing with the space of you teaching them, they are watching the status of them. They didn't just go into what is matter anything that has weight and all that. Are you teaching or you are facilitating? Did you start with a starter? Like some questions slightly relevant to the concept you want to teach, but not totally relevant. So your starter are more like questions, activity that stimulate the interest of the learner, so that it's like warm up in the lesson. Yeah. So did you start with the starter? Okay. Did you
Yeah.
facilitate learning or your thought? Those are the things they
Mm.
want to see. Many of them are also checking your bandwidth. That's what they get. They are also checking your bandwidth. They are checking the signal strength of whatever Wi-Fi or whatever connecting device you are using. Okay. Your question is
Yeah.
specific in terms of demo video. So I would advise that you should watch the demo video, follow strategy George mentioned, and then just then I also would also like to also advise that also pay attention to the background of your demo. That's also very important. Pay attention to the
Okay.
background of the demo. ensure that you don't have brightening colors. You understand? Keep it white. Keep it white. Also ensure that whenever you're having a demo video, there's no single lens. So it's a blend of a number of things. Okay, your
Yeah.
background. Now, the moment you hear a sound has got nothing to do with the learning that you are wanting to learn.
Yeah.
You understand, sir? So it's a blend of all those three and more.
Okay.
I hope
Thank
that's
you so much.
oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome, sir.
Yeah. That,
Yeah,
thank
so
you so much.
Bill, would you add
So,
it? Let's have you. Bill, would you add it?
Okay.
Please unmute yourself and then ask your question. Bill, would you? I don't think Bill would you
so,
is here. Okay, so yeah, George, please go ahead.
so did we? Yes. Well, I think I can see Mr. Duro. Would you address?
Yeah,
Raising up.
I don't think the person is around anymore. I
Okay.
think it's the phone that's
Ah,
participating in the webinar. We'll probably just give us some time.
okay. So I think we don't have I'm trying to go through the comments here. I don't think we have any other question again.
Okay,
I don't think we have any other question
good
again.
question.
Okay, yeah, somebody is asking what are the prerequisites to get picked as a tutor? Okay, now what are the documents? You don't really have any documents actually. The prerequisite to being picked, you know, you just have to do the work. You do the work, invest in your gadgets, then your skills, then you just shoot. That's just it. So know your onions well. Those are the prerequisites. Just know your onions well. Know your onions well. That's just it. Know your onions well. Know your onions well. So, and do your homework, do your research, do your extensive research, and know your onions well. Of course, when you are being called for interview, prepare well for the interview. And when you prepare well for the interview, then the chances of you being picked they are very high. Yes, my Mr. Enna. Yes, I don't know if this is a man or a woman. Enna, yes.
Yeah, Anna.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening. Good evening,
Mr.
ma. Good
Agbede.
evening, ma.
Thank
Good
you
evening,
so
ma.
much. This is my second class with you today.
Oh,
I'm so excited. I did. I'm so
So
excited.
you've
I
been
told
following me
myself,
back to back.
see, I've said my destiny is tied to this man. Today, will follow you. Thank you so much, so much.
Whatever.
I thought I
Whatever.
knew something, not until I heard
Yeah.
from you. I knew nothing. But I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome, ma.
Lekon. It's the
You're
first time
welcome.
meeting you.
You're
I want
welcome.
to ask, um, what do you do with a child, like the child that you're teaching online, but the child is not responsive, or the child is like, I have an online child. What she does not try, she will stop. Please, what can I do?
I don't know why it's mostly girls. I don't know. Ah, I don't know. Okay. Let me say one of the things that you can do, one of the things that you can do in making sure that the child I would like to ask, what class is the child?
So she's in KG2, that a class before grade
Nursery. I know,
before
and
grade one,
that should be
nursery.
okay. That should be that. Let's sure. Okay, nursery. I actually thought as much. Okay, so one of the things that you can do with such children is that the first thing you can do is just find a way to see what the child likes. Find a way to see what the child likes. Okay, find a way to see the interest of the child, and because the interest of the child, you can use the child interest to get her. Okay, you can use the child interest to get her. And another thing you can use is that you can make use of gamified approach. You can make use of gamified approach. Yes, I know that children like that, there are some children whereby, when they see gamification, there are some tools that you can use in terms of, you can use board wall, you can use a gamified approach where these children can get involved, like an engagement, because sometimes when you when you teach, and in the long run, the next thing they now ask you is that, Mr. George, when are we going to play quizzes, or when are we going to play blockets? When are we going to play this? When are we going to play that? When are we going to do this? Okay, so you can use that to get the child. Then their parents also can do the talking. I don't know why parents, I don't know why online, I don't know why parents, they just leave the children, they see us, they see us as, let me say, as a magician. They see us as a magician where you can just come and do wonders. And so the parents also can step in and to just talk, do one or two things to, to just admonish the child to become a better person of herself. Because I've always believed that the moment you get a child's attention, I tell you, whatever you want to teach, whatever you want to impact, the child will learn. Just get the attention 100%. They will learn. They will learn. Get the attention 100%. They will learn. So I feel we can use that opportunity to find a way where you can just infuse maybe rhymes, or find a way where you can just infuse just like a playway method that you can use to get the child's attention. For how long have you been teaching the child?
Yeah.
For a year now. So if you have been
Yes,
teaching
I
the child for
I
a
was a
year
teacher
now,
in
so
Nigeria. I was a teacher in Nigeria.
so then there's a level of connection, that there's a level of a rapport in which you can build. I don't know. I don't. This question is open to everybody. I don't know if or anyone has a contribution apart from what I've said.
Yeah, George, I would like to ask you a few questions, if I'm permitted to.
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Anna, can you
Yes,
hear me? Yes. So
sure.
I want to ask, like, I heard your question, okay, and I would like to interrogate slightly. So interrogate slightly means just general questions. What do you teach the child?
So generally I teach her numeracy, phonics, majorly numeracy and phonics.
Okay, so you teach numeracy and phonics for a year now.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said for a year now.
Yes,
So is the child resident in Nigeria or outside Nigeria?
outside Nigeria. They were in Nigeria. I was a teacher before they relocated.
Okay. So we asked because let me tell you a few things that sometimes I do, depending on the location of my learner. Okay. There are times that when my learners in Nigeria, we know that we are teachers, but there's also still a Nigerian way to appeal to students. So I once had a student that was very difficult to teach, was not so much open to learning. And then someone told me about it, and then they decided to use my services and all of that. And one of the first things I did was to, so as teachers, we must also be very open to allowing the kids to choose what they want. So choosing what they want is give some time to tell the child, okay, what do you want us to do today? Do you get that point? I've tried it a couple of times, and what that does for me is it helps me to know what goes on in the mind of the learner. So there are times I tell the learners, what do you want us to do today? Especially for many of the kids outside Nigeria. What do you want us to do today? What do you want us to do today? Gives them an avenue to feel like, okay, for once, I'm the one in charge. And then they begin to say, oh, today, I really don't want to learn. I just want music and all of that. Now, are we going to allow music? Not necessarily. Or we are going to weave the learning of the day around what they feel like doing. I personally have had moments when I have given money. So when I say money, I have said, okay, there's so amount up for the taking, depending on the age bracket of the student you're taking. So for some of them, you give some sort of reward. For some of them, it's some cash reward. For some others, it's some cash converted to gift reward. So that was why I was asking for location. You understand? Now, another thing also that I also would advise is maybe you also have to try to identify how this child learns. They have visual learners, they have tactile learners. You might not be able to have that tactile with the student. However, you might also have to appeal to the strategy of this particular child. Okay, and George also mentioned it. Learning strategy. Is there a way you can illustrate, you can use visual learning to illustrate the concept of the day, whatever you want to do, numeracy for the day, Phoenix, is there a way you can incorporate visual learning so that, let's say I have 30 or 40 minutes with this child, want to sustain the interest, and then I do some 5 minutes video that's relevant to whatever concept I plan to teach that day. Okay. And then the 5 minute video is so engaging that I know that when the child is done watching, and then we ask questions about, okay, so tell me, what did you get from the video? What is the video about? Okay. And then I find a way also to then relate the concept of the day with the experience of the child. I used to, I think, then I go.
I'm here. I had
Okay.
to mute.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm of the opinion that you might also have to identify the learning strategy of a particular child. That is one. Then I'm also going to advise that you also pay attention to the length of the session. So I'll use myself as an example. If I have to teach playgroup, once you are not in primary yet, I always counsel parents that the session should not exceed 30 minutes. Many times I insist on 25 minutes because it's very difficult. It can be almost impossible to sustain the interest and attention of such tender learners for an hour. At the first 25 minutes, you're likely to get their attention, but if you don't sustain it engagingly, you will lose their attention. So such a child can come across as, oh, it's not interested in what we're doing. And might not necessarily be the case. It might just be a case of the time frame is too long for the learner. So I feel that we might have to look at how best does this child learn. We might also have to consider the interest of this child. We might also have to consider the learning strategy that is most appropriate for this particular child. And then we also might also have to consider some positive reinforcement in words and all of that. Particular candidate is outside the country, so I personally think that he should order something, or it's something that I have done. I have had to give money. I have had to promise a gift. If you get this, you get this delivered to your door, depending. I'm also saying that we should promise gifts that are even more expensive than whatever rates we are
Yeah,
charging. That's
exactly.
another thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
But for some of those kids, we might just have to stimulate their interest and then let them fall in love with you. I'm not saying that this child does not love you, do you understand? But I'm saying that maybe we might have to investigate like you might have to also check the likes, the dislikes. What are the things that kind of stimulate the interest of a child? This is open to other people, other questions in the house.
Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We've spent so much time, and I really appreciate. Thank you, Mr. Adegun, for having me. Thank you so much. you
Yeah,
so
so
much,
George,
Mr. Leon.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you
thank
for
you
being
so
a
much.
wonderful
So,
facilitator. Thank you so
thank you.
much for being a wonderful. This
Yes,
has gone on
thank you.
for more than 2 hours. This is two
For more than two
hours.
hours.
Yeah, this is
Thank
two
you so much.
hours, 90 minutes, and it speaks
And
volume.
thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this. Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Also,
so this is a recorded session. We'll be putting it up on LinkedIn for those who might
okay,
want to rewatch. I'll also be sending the link to George.
okay.
For those that would be reaching out to you privately to get the link. Okay, so this is recorded. Okay, so thank you so much. I think
Thank you.
it's time we let George
Ah,
go to his family
thank
and
you.
rest. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you
so
so
much
much.
for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
You're welcome.
for
Thank you.
sharing so much
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye,
Yeah,
everybody.
we'll see
Bye.
you.